Coach, talk to me right now about what is wrong with this Houston Rockets team. I know they're 4-3. It's not like they're 1-7 or something like that. But clearly they're not as good as people expected them to be. What's going on right now?
Well, obviously, you mentioned it. They're not shooting the ball from three at all well. Eric Gordon, James Harden in particular, not shooting it well. When they get that together, offensively, they'll be even more dynamic. Defensively, they're not an overly talented defensive team, so they have to be a tied-together defensive team. They're not either right now. They've got to get locked in. If you're not in the top 15 or 10 defensively, you're not a championship-caliber team.
Here's the thing. We mentioned Harden. We mentioned Russell Westbrook, but we want to do justice to them in this regard. Eric Gordon is a key shooter for this basketball team, averaging around 36% shooting from three-point range in his career. Thus far this season, 23% from three-point range. How much has that been a factor in their troubles thus far?
Well, absolutely. It's been a huge factor. He's so important to them because he is a good defender, Stephen, and he helps them spread the floor. He's a secondary ball handler. He's played between the three-point lines for the early part of the season. I think he's a little bit banged up, won't play tonight. But also I think everybody in the league is not in rhythm yet. You got to get in shape, you got to get your legs under you, and you got to play in rhythm.
Real quickly, when they talk about Mike D'Antoni, there's no denying that he's brilliant offensively. He's a damn good head coach. But defensively, some people have joked you take the D out of D'Antoni because you don't think about defense when you think about the Rockets. Is it fair to look at his teams that way, particularly with the expectations that are on their shoulders and what we've seen thus far?
No, when he had Jeff Bezdelic with him here, they played good defense. It makes me question why they didn't bring him back, but I think it's also unfair to pin their defensive woes early in the season on Elston Turner. So team-wide, they've got to get it together defensively. It's no one person's responsibility.
Well, you know what? They ain't playing themselves tonight. They're playing the 5-time defending Western Conference champion Golden State Warriors. That's a team we need to get into. The Warriors have had a rough start to the season themselves. Last Wednesday, Steph Curry broke his left hand and will miss at least the next 3 months after surgery. But Curry is not the only Warriors star dealing with injuries. Draymond Green has missed the last 2 games with a torn ligament in his left index finger, and he's been ruled out for this 3-game road trip. And on top of those injuries, the Warriors have been without D'Angelo Russell in their last 2 games due to a sprained ankle. He'll miss tonight's game as well. But despite all of those injuries, Golden State won this past Monday night, scoring 127 points against the Portland Trailblazers. Rookie Eric Pascal led the way with 34 points. Coach, when we think about the Warriors, they're 2-5 thus far. I don't even know what to say. I mean, what are your expectations for them moving forward? No Steph Curry, no Draymond, at least for recent future. Of course, no Klay Thompson, and KD's in Brooklyn.
Well, I think even with their 3 All-Stars of Russell, Green, and Curry, they were getting hammered early in the year. So they just looked mentally shot a little bit. I think the young players are going to play exceptionally hard with great joy, but they're going to take a lot of losses. It's just how it's going to be, and they've got to get accustomed to this once again. Because if you remember, it was a tortured fan base for a lot of years in Golden State until this Mark Jackson started the run, Steve Kerr extended it to this championship caliber run. Now they're going back to some tough times, but maybe they'll do like San Antonio did with Tim Duncan. Who knows? Worst record in the league, get the #1 pick, and rebuild once again.
Well, that's where I was going next, because based on what you just alluded to, Jeff Van Gundy, is that your subtle way of saying maybe, just maybe, instead of being out for 3 months with that broken left hand, Steph Curry should be out for 6 months, 7 months, whatever it takes?
I would never say to do that, but I think some teams and some players take it upon themselves to take their time coming back.
Okay. You feel that way about Klay Thompson, yes or no?
Oh, he should. I think he's out the whole year.
Okay.
I don't see any reason except if he could come back and play the last 5 or 10 games so that he feels good going into the following year and it builds his confidence, not from a skill standpoint, but from a back standpoint, that wouldn't be wrong either.
Coach, I never get tired of talking basketball with you.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
We need you being fired up tonight.
Oh, I'm going to be fired up, no question about that. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.